Since its founding in 1994, DreamWorks has become one of the premier animation houses in Hollywood. The company carved its own identity by being anti-Disney in terms of what stories it adapted, having slightly more mature and crass jokes and experimenting with CGI and hand-drawn films before dropping the latter when it was apparent CGI attracted more audiences. DreamWorks established many beloved animated franchises, including Shrek, Madagascar, and How to Train Your Dragon, but one of their most surprising successes is Kung Fu Panda. Set in a mythologized version of ancient China, it follows the adventures of Jack Black, a panda who loves everything related to Kung Fu. Despite the admittedly silly title and premise, the franchise has delighted audiences of all ages, thanks to the surprising amount of maturity, heart, comedy, and strong themes found within. They introduce Eastern philosophy to Western audiences, exploring themes of balance, acceptance, self-love, and family. The animation is also fantastic, with each film creating gorgeous landscapes, immersive fight scenes, and hilarious physical comedy. So far, 4 movies have been produced, but the franchise is still very much alive, so a 5th entry would not shock anyone. And while each of the 4 Kung Fu Panda movies is good in its own right, only one can be considered the absolute best. In Poe's most recent adventure, Master Shifu, Dustin Hoffman tells him it is time for him to renounce the title of the Dragon Warrior and choose a successor so that he can become the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. Poe is interrupted by the arrival of a thief named Jin Aquafina and the knowledge of a new shape-shifting villain called the Chameleon Viola Davis. Teaming up with Jin in exchange for a lighter prison sentence, Poe plans to stop the chameleon before she can steal the Staff of Wisdom to open a gate to the spirit world. Kung Fu Panda 4 is the weakest link in the franchise, but it's not a bad movie. Poe is still the same lovable character as always, and in the context of the movie, it's nice to see him move to the next stage in his character progression. There are also some good jokes here and there and inventive action scenes involving city chases and shape-shifting villains. However, what holds it back is how basic the story and new characters are. Jin and the Chameleon would be fine characters in another movie, but for Kung Fu Panda 4, they're just lesser versions of better archetypes. Part of this is because the movie doesn't give them enough time to breathe due to its quick pacing and cutting back to a subplot involving Poe's 2 fathers following after him. It also doesn't help that the fan-favorite side characters, the Furious 5, are absent from Kung Fu Panda 4. However, despite its flaws, it does have Black sing a hilarious cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time during the end credits, and who doesn't love to hear Jack Black sing, who is finally getting used to life as the Dragon Warrior. However, things change when Master Shifu announces that Po will be taking over his duties of teaching Kung Fu to the Furious 5 and other members of the Valley of Peace, which he proves to be ill-suited for. As he tries to discover his teaching style, his biological father, LeSean Bryan Cranston, comes to the Valley at the same time as a new villain, General Kai J.K. Simmons, a spirit warrior who once fought alongside Master Oogway Randall Duck Kim, and now wants to steal the chi of all Kung Fu masters. Since he can only be defeated by a chi master, LeSean offers to take Pa back to his village so Pa can reconnect to his panda roots. Kung Fu Panda 3 is perhaps the most beautiful of the 4 movies. The animation by Pearl Studios, who also worked on fellow DreamWorks movie Abominable, is rich and lush. Their name is fitting, as the animation has a beautiful shine like a pearl, movement is fluid as water, and vibrant colors that pop off the screen. The story is pretty good, as well. While it doesn't have the same emotional highs as the first 2 films, Kung Fu Panda 3 has a strong message about family, teaching, and self-acceptance and some of the most iconic lines in the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Poe's adopted father, Mr. Ping James Hong, has a good story arc, coming to accept LeSean in Poe's life, and his chemistry with Cranston is the stuff of comedic gold. 20 years after the defeat of Tai Lung, Ian McShane, the fallen adopted son of Master Shifu, Master Oogway has a vision that signals his return. He decides it is time to choose the Dragon Warrior, who will receive the Dragon Scroll that'll teach them infinite wisdom and make them the ultimate warrior. Everyone in the valley believes it will be one of the Furious 5, but at the last second, Pa, who tries to attend the choosing ceremony using a chair propelled by fireworks, lands in front of Oogway. Believing the panda fell from the sky in a ball of fire, Oogway picks him. This enrages Shifu, who sees Pa as an insult to Kung Fu due to his weight and childish personality, but Pa surprises everyone by refusing to quit, no matter how tough the challenge gets. People thought Kung Fu Panda would be another of DreamWorks' lesser 2000s movies like Shark Tale and Over the Hedge. Alas, audiences were happy when their concerns proved to be wrong by the film's quality writing, voice acting, and animation. Po has one of the strongest character arcs among DreamWorks protagonists and resonates strongly with audiences of all ages. It is one about overcoming self-loathing and discovering that you are indeed good enough to be what you set out to be. Tai Lung's story is also strong, and his relationship with Shifu is a tragic cautionary tale of pride and wrath. The action scenes are phenomenal for their time and still hold up today, combining fast-paced animation with impressive choreography and hilarious slapstick. Overall, Kung Fu Panda is a refreshing and inspired film and a wonderful beginning to this franchise, setting the stage for much larger things to come. Lord Shen, Gary Oldman, the banished prince of Gaomin City, has returned with a new weapon that spits fire and kills even the greatest kung fu masters. Pa and the Furious Five must stop Shen before he can use his weapon to invade all of China, which proves more difficult than anticipated. Not only does he have a significant army of wolf and gorilla minions, but he also has a connection to Po's past that throws the Dragon Warrior off balance. If Po is to have any hope of stopping him, he must unravel the mystery of who he is and come to terms with his trauma. Kung Fu Panda 2 is one of those rare sequels that surpasses the original. It ups the drama and comedy while continuing Po's journey rather than telling the same story as the original again. This is best seen through the dynamic between Po and Shen, one of the best in any animated film. They serve as mirrors to one another, two souls whose lives have been shaped by hardship and loss linked through destiny. Where they differ is in how they choose to deal with that pain. The film also makes great use of the Furious Five, with each playing off the other and Po with wonderful camaraderie, especially between Po and Tigress Angelina Jolie. Kung Fu Panda 2 is thematically complex, beautifully animated, and emotionally resonant, well deserving of its reputation as one of DreamWorks' best films.